Be a part of the solution, not part of the pollution. Our planet is our home, the place that sustains us. But are we living in harmony with nature? It seems like we humans have embraced the path of self destruction, destroying the very home that shelters us. From rising carbon emissions to deforestation and land degradation, anthropogenic activities are having detrimental effects on our ecosystems and environmental biodiversity. Not many are aware that the United Nations Assembly had declared the period of 2011 to 2020 as the decade for the biodiversity. We are in the final period of this crucial decade, and despite several strategic plans and initiatives to mobilize people at different levels, we are miles behind in achieving the stipulated targets. The negative trends in biodiversity and ecosystems conservation indicate that we need to do a lot more. As teenagers, sometimes we feel helpless and powerless, unable to take action or do things that really matter to us, since governments and large corporations are the ones taking vital decisions, while major changes are only possible if countries and corporations alter their policies and actions. We as individuals also have the potential to make a difference, whether through small actions or larger initiatives. Let's not forget that consumers dictate markets, and they can significantly impact the way goods are produced and traded if they decide to change their consumption habits. Here are some of the ways in which you can control of your future and protect our environment and ecosystems. First, start your own initiative or volunteer with environmental organizations. Whether it's something small like starting community cleanup group or building a large organization with significant reach and impact, taking initiatives for environmental conservation can go a long way. There are many successful youth-led environmental organizations and NGOs across the globe that are leading by example today. However, if you are not up to it, you can also make an impact on the environment by getting involved with local nonprofits and assisting environmental community groups. There are several ways in which you can get involved for running online awareness campaigns or offering practical help like beach cleanups and fundraising events. Second, reduce recycle paper. What you do with your old textbooks and novels are not in use? Why not donate them to juniors or kids in your neighborhood, or send them across the countries where children have little to no access to the educational resources? While books aren't doing any harm sitting on a bookshelf, why not save resources by putting them to reuse? Similarly, recycling unwanted paper will reduce the raw material demand for paper production, thus conserving trees and forest ecosystems. From online assignments to writing exams, thanks to the advent of technology, paper isn't something that is necessary anymore. By making use of smart technologies that are available today, we can effortlessly shift away from paper-based activities to all levels. Recycle more often. Recycling is a simple yet effective way of conserving resources and reducing your individual carbon footprint. Rather than throwing everything in the trash, separate your plastic, paper, and metal waste and dispose it in a recycling bin. Recycling helps reduce landfill pollution, raw materials and fossil fuel consumption, and generates a circular economy. Also, we have save resources. Did you know that only 0.03% of the 70% of the water available to us is fresh water? That's why saving water is so important for freshwater ecosystems. By doing simple things like taking shorter showers, avoiding small clothes washes, and turning your taps off while brushing, you can save gallons of water. Similarly, it is important to be mindful of your electricity consumption and make adaptations so that you can reduce the demand for energy production and thereby preserve for fossil fuel resources. While public and private entities plan the transition to sustainable alternatives, by doing our bit at home in offices, we can reduce fossil fuel dependency. Next, buy sustainable products. Plastics is one of the most significant contributors to soil and marine pollution, endangering both the land and marine life. Plastic isn't biodegradable and is often consumed by animals who makes it as a food. By buying a product, be aware of its environmental impact and disposal after use. Environmental companies are now being questioned on their ecological footprint and changing consumer habits and compelling them to become more sustainable. There are several sustainable brands available today, and it is easier to find out about the product's origin, materials, and recyclability when you're stocking up in your own school or office supplies like folders of pens or buying toys in home accessories. Try to look for more eco-friendly alternatives that can replace plastic. For example, some of us so much some of us use so much plastic from buying bottled water every day. When buying your own reusable water every day, buying your own reusable water bottle is not only cheaper but also much better for the environment. Also, buying local products and produce is a greater way to minimize carbon footprint, as as goods don't have to travel longer distance and consume more fuel for transportation. Do some research and find out about the local eco stores and farms in your area. Supporting small businesses is also great for local economy because you're sustaining the economic activity and job creation in your area. We also have decreased meat and dairy consumption. Methane is one of the most potent greenhouse gases that contributes to local global warming. With increasing demand for meat, the number of livestock farms has gone up significantly over the last few decades. As livestock release large amounts of methane in the atmosphere, excessive meat and dairy consumption has detrimental effects on our climate. Additionally, unsustainable dairy and cattle farming leads to the destructions of ecological important areas such as wetlands and forests. Deforestation required to house animals like cows and chickens are damaging habitats in natural ecosystems, where hundreds of species depend on each other for survival. Thus, the only way we can prevent more damage is by being responsible and eating less meat and dairy products. Lastly, we have only buy what you need. Think about your purchasing habits. Do you buy too much products? Can you do without some of the things that you can often buy? Are you being a responsible consumer? Simply buying more because of tempting offers is discounts with actually cost of us and the environment more. Whether it's groceries, clothes, accessories, or home products, by purchasing only what you need, you reduce the amount of waste generated. And thus pollution, as the natural resources are limited, our excessive consumption can be counterproductive and undermine our planet's diversity. So there are lots of things that the youth can do. So those are the things that we youth can offer to our environment. So be a part of the solution and not part of the pollution. Thank you.